Shri Suresh Prabhu.
Sir, thank you. Sir, we are discussing information and broadcasting, but some part of the speech of my predecessor was not broadcasted at all. But sir, he was mentioning, my friend Mr. Tathagat Satpathy just mentioned that our ministers, amongst his several portfolios, one was taken away, and therefore he was feeling sorry for him. But just to remind him and others that Indira Gandhi was an information broadcasting minister before she became the Prime Minister. Mr. L.K. Advani, the Prime Minister's waiting, was an information and broadcasting minister in 1977. I am not suggesting anything now because the field is already crowded and there are too many candidates. So I am not suggesting anything because there are too many suggestions. But sir, sir, I would like to, start my speech by saying that I would request the minister to please go through the mandate of this ministry. So the rules of business very specifically prescribes and stipulates that among several things that a ministry is supposed to be doing, one of the most important things that a ministry is mandated to do is to involving people in development activities. So I would like to know from the Honorable Minister how this ministry has fulfilled this mandate. What are the activities that were undertaken by the ministry to make sure that the common people of India were involved into development activities? I was going through the annual report very carefully. I didn't even find any mention about how this has been fulfilled. So one is a matter of omission of what should have been done, of what has been stipulated in rules of business, and the other one, which is not mentioned, but which should have been now part of the ministry job, is not just radio, not just television, not just print media, but also one of the most emerging medium of reaching out to the people is internet. I was just wondering, this ministry, is it supposed to be doing into this or not? I don't find again any mention here. So I request the minister to actually look into this emerging media, the sources of media through which we like to go to the people. Sir, mass media is one of the most important part of the ministry's responsibility. In fact, Mr. Tathagat Satpathy runs a very successful newspaper, and he was trying to highlight the problems of the small and medium-sized newspapers. I would request the minister that there are a large number of newspapers and periodicals and publications which are published from districts and sub-district level, taluka levels and above. I would request him to play a special role, pay a special emphasis on how to promote the cause of these small and medium-sized newspapers, because they are the ones who actually really reach out to the people. They are the ones who are closer to the people, working from small places, and therefore I would request him to do that. Sir, I was just looking at my colleague was saying, my friend from the left was mentioning about freedom of expression. So this is one of the most important things that each one of us are proud of. We all become members of parliament and actually enjoy that expression of freedom. But this is the job of the ministry also to ensure that it happens. I was just intrigued by one interesting fact, that when Taslima Nasreen was in India, the government told her that you can practice literature but not religion. And when Dalai Lama was trying to say something, he was told that practice religion but don't practice politics. So one person is supposed to be practicing religion and other person is not supposed to practice religion. So how does this expression of right of expression really gets manifested? I would really like to know from the Honorable Minister, because it's a very confusing signal that the government is trying to send to the people. Sir, the issue related to expression of freedom will form in code of conduct. Sir, this code of conduct that the ministry devises from time to time should be done in a manner that will not infringe the inherent freedom of all the print and other forms of media, because this is an extremely important thing, that in the form, in the garb of using code of conduct, we should not try to bring out as a codification of rules which will not allow people to say something which they would like to say.
I have a committee.
Sir, the another ministry job is to actually come out with guidelines and procedures at the time of some of the important events that take place and some of the unfortunate events that take place. For example, if the death of head of state, head of government, how to handle it is something which goes into the part of this. I would request the minister to look at something different than this. How do you handle, the media should handle the natural calamities? I would like to remind the minister that when 9/11 happened in United States, the whole media was working without even running commercial for a long time. Now in India, if there is an earthquake, there is some other natural calamity, how should media handle it is something I would request him to really look at it in a manner that would actually not touch the sensitivities of the people who are affected, as well as will not portray the wrong image about the country. So this is something in code of conduct. Sir, I would really remind the minister that we passed a law in this parliament some time ago, a very landmark legislation, which is trying to bring in the broad framework of political reforms. One of the things that we said was that all the political parties will have a right of air time on television. So that was public television which are actually offering. In fact, we are doing that. But under the law, in fact, private television is also supposed to be providing time to all the political parties. But the rules for that have not been framed. So I would request the minister to really come out with this that will provide a great opportunity for all the political parties to express their ideas and views. And in fact, this will really address one of the key problems that we face today, because elections mean use of lot of money. If you can really come out with this will be also doing a great service to our people. Sir, in the languages that we talked about, in fact, when Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was the Prime Minister, he declared Konkani as one of the scheduled languages. I would request the minister that having done that, the next logical step, he being a great leader, you must ensure that Konkani programs are really dedicated, and there is a special channel which should be run for that, and including while I am talking about national issues, let me also remind, because I am here because of my constituent have elected me, that in my own constituency, I find unfortunately the transponders, the transmitters are so weak that many people are not even able to see that. So Sindhudurga and Ratnagiri district of Maharashtra should receive your special attention as the other districts are receiving, and you should try to provide a high frequency towers for that, and I would really request to do that. Sir, my other suggestion and my request to the minister would be that while we actually have, this is the mandate of the ministry, that all the government program, how the government program should be reaching to the people. That is what he should be doing, and that's the right thing to do. That's required. PIB is doing that job, and that's your job. In fact, you have got a media outreach program to make that happen, and I congratulate you for that. And my request would be, for a healthy democracy, why don't you also allow the opposition parties to also take part in this program? What they can do, they can come out and say what we can say here, we can also say in that program. This will be a very healthy way of reaching out to the people by saying, this is not a program of just one political party, this is a program of the country, particularly National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, which the whole House had passed unanimously. Why not use the political parties across the spectrum to actually reach out to the people on this program? Sir, I will just wind up because I know my friend has taken a little more time, so I will compensate for that. Sir, just last point, there are employees who are agitating and they are on hunger strike in Jantar Mantar. Sir, I am really concerned that none of them should lose their life, and I would request the minister, who has also been a trade union leader, I know for some time ago. In fact, he started his political career as a Chhatra Parishad leader. So please send your officers, and if it also will be a good idea that the minister meets them, talks to them, and tries to settle the issues. Thank you, sir.
धन्यवाद.